did always say that I believe that Ryan Garcia was a good fighter. We were 3-3 with him. I think he's an even better TikToker or influencer or whatever because he fooled you guys into thinking that he was crazy. I knew that he wasn't crazy.
The fight between Ryan and Devin was an interesting one, but it gets even more interesting with Devin Haney accusing Ryan Garcia of cheating. Ryan Garcia, though, hasn't been silent on this.
Don't judge a book by its cover. At the end of the day, a lot of people, they find ways to hate people. At the end of the day, look at their heart, not their appearance. I may look a certain way, but I try to move myself with honor and respect.
The controversy began when Garcia weighed in at 3.2 pounds over the agreed limit of 140 pounds, which was a massive deviation, and it set the stage for the accusations that would follow. Haney, who had made weight, was understandably upset. Let's not forget that it was also before the fight that the fighters had an agreement that if Garcia exceeded the weight limit, he would pay Haney $500K for every pound he went over, which clearly showed that Haney was okay with fighting Garcia in whatever weight.
You gotta take that vest off. What about your weight?
It's a bet. 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 It's a bet.
Let's do 500,000 per pound. Let's do a shake on it.
And yes, as a result, Garcia ended up paying Haney a huge sum of $1.5 million, and the fight proceeded. However, the weight discrepancy didn't end there thanks to Devin. After the fight, Haney suggested that Garcia's extra weight gave him an unfair advantage. He felt that he couldn't handle Garcia's power due to this weight difference, thus accusing Ryan Garcia of cheating. The controversy didn't stop at the weight discrepancy. Haney called for a rematch on fair terms. He stated, "I would love to run it back and give the fans a fair fight within an agreed weight." This statement implies that Haney believes the initial fight was not conducted on equal terms.
Yeah, at that moment in my heart, I care about him. He didn't look right in the ring. He had nothing to give me anymore. It was just like, there's no point unless you want your son to get just definitely killed. I guess he does want Devin,
This was not the first time that Haney tried to accuse Garcia of cheating. And all this began when it was announced that the fight would take place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Initially, it was expected that the bout would take place in Las Vegas. This sentiment was shared by many in the boxing community, including Garcia himself, who expressed his wish for the fight to take place on the Nevada Strip. However, the final decision was to host the fight at the Barclays Center in New York. And Haney took issue with this change of venue. He suggested that Garcia was trying to manipulate the location of the fight for his own advantage. Haney implied that Garcia was planning his escape from the fight by attempting to move it to a different location. With all these cheating allegations on the table, Ryan Garcia has not shied away from addressing them. Firstly, regarding the weight issue, Garcia openly admitted, "I planned to come in over the weight since I didn't want to drain myself." According to Devin, this prior decision further proves that Ryan had decided he was going to cheat even before the fight, and it wasn't his weight that didn't want to respond to. However, Ryan Garcia emphasized that he had followed the protocols and guidelines set forth for managing weight in boxing. This statement suggests that Garcia had a strategic plan in mind for his weight management leading up to the fight, prioritizing his health and performance. In response to the controversy surrounding the change in venue, Garcia asserted, "Garcia versus Haney remains the biggest fight of Haney's career."
About Devin Pillow Hands Haney, bro. He could lift whatever the fuck he wants. He could take steroids, because I heard that he wasn't fucking giving his blood work to snack.
Oh, child.
He was a grapevine.
He refuted Haney's accusation of attempting to manipulate the fight location to his advantage. Garcia's stand indicates that he saw the matchup as a big fight regardless of the venue. Furthermore, Garcia provided insight into his strategic approach to the fight, stating, "I decided to go all in and commit to the plan." He acknowledged that he indulged in drinking occasionally during training camp, indicating a level of honesty about his preparation process. This admission portrays Garcia as open and honest about his methods and committed to executing his game plan effectively. Further addressing Haney's cheating allegations, Garcia responded sharply on social media saying, "Shut your mouth accusing me of cheating. I get it. You can't punch even with 8OZ gloves, but don't be accusing me of such a serious accusation." Now, it's funny how Devin came up with these cheating allegations. while it was him that was seen to have an advantage in the fight. Leading up to the fight, the weight issue was quite big, and people didn't settle well with Garcia coming in with the extra 3 pounds. This even goes further, with supporters of Haney's argument pointing out that fighters typically rehydrate after the weigh-in, regaining fluids lost during the weight cut. This rehydration process allows them to regain muscle mass and strength, potentially making Garcia, who was already naturally bigger, even more powerful on fight night.
I have a book for Ryan Garcia today. Psychology for Dummies.
I walked through the fire and still held it down and still beat fucking Devin Haney and still drank every day and still beat him. And I did everything.
However, Garcia's camp counters that the commission-sanctioned weigh-in is the official measure, and exceeding the limit is a violation. They argue that Haney, known for having a sizable frame for the lightweight division, often enjoys a size advantage over his opponents after rehydration. The debate, however, totally depends on whether 3 pounds translates to a big edge in the ring. Some boxing analysts believe the difference is negligible, especially considering the fighter's skill levels. Others, like former champion Caleb Plant, sided with Haney, arguing that the extra weight offered Garcia a crucial difference maker in terms of stamina and punching power. But things get interesting here. Adding fuel to the fire of controversy is the officiating. There's been some spreading news that the referee, Harvey Dock, could have been favoring Devin Haney throughout the fight.
Wow. Okay, so he's down.
Notice how the ref literally puts both of his arms around Ryan and pushes him. He noticed how he's hesitant to even start the count. He fixes his pants and then slowly makes his way to Devin.
It's about 6 seconds right there.
A particular point of contention is a point deduction Garcia received in the 7th round for an alleged punch landed after the bell. While replays do show some contact after the bell, Garcia's camp maintains it was minimal and unintentional. They argue that the deduction swung the momentum in Haney's favor at a crucial moment in the fight. Furthermore, some observers allege a bias in the way Harvey Dock handled clinches and breaks.
Like, the first time, you should never take a point. I mean, in all boxing, I rarely see a guy take a point right away. And he was holding me for 20 seconds straight, and he didn't call the hold. So the moment I got my hand free, I socked him in the face. I socked him in the face.
And that's where the point
then
is.
that's where
It appeared that Garcia was penalized more harshly for clinching, hindering his ability to fight his aggressive style. Additionally, some believe Harvey Dock allowed Haney to hold and wrestle excessively, stifling Garcia's offensive rhythm. Things get even more explosive considering the leaked audio. The audio, allegedly released by Garcia himself, captures a conversation between Bill Haney and the referee Dock before the match. The content of this brief exchange has raised serious concerns about potential bias in the ring. The recording opens with Bill Haney outlining his strategy for the fight. He speaks with the confidence of a seasoned trainer, highlighting Devin's strengths. Speed and technique are Devin's advantages, he says. We just need to make sure he has the chance to showcase them effectively. This is where the conversation takes a turn that has left many scratching their heads. The referee's voice enters, seemingly in agreement with Bill Haney. I understand your concerns, Bill, Doc assures him. We'll make sure Devin gets a fair chance. On the surface, the following statement from Bill Haney appears harmless. We're not asking for any favors, just a fair fight. However, this seemingly innocent request has become the focal point of a heated debate. Some fans believe this is simply a call for a level playing field, a basic expectation in any competitive sport. Others interpret it as an attempt to influence the referee, a subtle nudge towards giving Devin an unfair advantage.
Yeah, at that moment in my heart, I cared about him. He didn't look right in the ring. He had nothing to give me anymore. It was just like, there's no point unless you want your son to get just definitely killed. Like, I guess he does want Devin, you know?
The leaked audio has sparked outrage among a portion of Garcia's fan base, but we all saw it. We all know what was happening in the fight, and we can for sure argue that the referee's perceived bias restricted Garcia's performance and ultimately tipped the scales in Devin Haney's favor. While the Haney-Garcia fight has left a bitter taste in the mouths of many boxing fans, the weight controversy, officiating decisions, and leaked audio have all contributed to a sense of injustice towards both fighters. But if we are being honest, it's more of an injustice to Garcia. And it's also worth noting that Garcia, despite the controversy, emerged victorious. While the debate about the fairness of the outcome will continue, Garcia deserves credit for his performance in the ring. Even if we look at what other big names out here are saying, it's clear that everyone seconds this, with no one saying that Haney might have been at a disadvantage. From Haney's allegations and all the cheating issues, Gervonta Davis, a renowned boxer, responded to a tweet from Eli Sekbach, who wrote, "This is by far the worst ref in boxing." In response, Davis wrote, "No, he knew what he was doing. You didn't peep his face. He was smiling." Davis seems to believe that the referee was aware of his actions and their potential impact on the fight. His observation about the referee's facial expression implies that he thinks the referee was not impartial and may have been enjoying the controversy his decisions were causing. According to Davis, if anyone was at a disadvantage, it would be Garcia. And this is further complemented by Stephen Smith. Stephen Smith, a sports journalist, also commented on the fight. He noted that the referee was absolutely terrible and joined fans in criticizing the officiating. Smith's comment reflects his disappointment with the referee's performance. By describing the referee as absolutely terrible, he is expressing his belief that the referee's actions negatively impacted the quality of the match, mostly giving Haney an added advantage.
The commentators were all on your side.
Oh, they were?
All the commentators were like, what's this all about? You can't do it. They got to take a point back. So it's interesting because sometimes commentators stay neutral.
The cheating issue was so big that even Demetrius Johnson, a renowned MMA fighter, criticized the referee's performance in the fight. He expressed his frustration in a reaction video shared on his Instagram. Johnson stated, "The thing that was very frustrating about this fight is that the referee kept Haney in that fight. I felt like Haney is hanging on to him, and then next thing you know, he does a double leg takedown, and then the ref is like, stop holding him. It's like, time, you stop holding and you stop holding, fight. It's like, dude, you just gave him like 15, 20 seconds of a rest. You stopped Ryan's momentum to finish him." Johnson's views do also show that he believes the referee was favoring Haney by allowing him extra time to recover. According to him, Haney shouldn't be the one screaming about being at a disadvantage here, and maybe he should learn how to take a loss. Jorge Masvidal, another professional MMA fighter, also joked that the referee must have a bet on the fight as he referenced the point deduction imposed on Garcia. He said, "This ref must have a bet in." So yeah, even outside here, no one is supporting Haney's claims. Even us who watched the fight can agree that the fight actually seemed unfair to Garcia. So why exactly would Devin Haney start throwing cheating allegations to Garcia? Well, put yourself in Haney's shoes and imagine yourself training relentlessly, undefeated for ages, then getting knocked down not once, but 3 times in a fight. That's a bitter pill to swallow for any boxer, especially one with Haney's reputation. His accusations could be a way to save face. By claiming Garcia cheated, he might be trying to downplay the loss, suggesting it wasn't a true reflection of his skills. He could also be trying to play the rematch game. Boxing is a business, and sometimes fights are just the first chapter in a bigger story. A rematch between Haney and Garcia could be a massive moneymaker. So, why not throw some accusations around? By claiming Garcia cheated, Haney might be trying to gain leverage in negotiations for the rematch. And Haney expressed this himself after the fight when he asked for a fair rematch from Garcia. But he may also be trying to shift the spotlight. Yes, we can all agree that the fight wasn't exactly squeaky clean.
We just heard Ryan say, sure, we'll run this fight back. Is a rematch something you'd like to do next?
Of course. I thought it was a close fight still. I would love to rematch. I gave him a shot. It's only right he gave me a shot back.
There were questions about the weight difference between the fighters, some controversial calls by the referee, and even a leaked conversation hinting at possible bias. Haney's accusations about Garcia's cheating might be a way to distract everyone from these issues. It's like saying, look over here at this shiny cheating accusation, don't pay attention to the referee or the loss thing. He could also be trying to plant some seeds of doubt. Accusations, even unfounded ones, can mess with your head. By repeatedly questioning Garcia's integrity, Haney might be trying to get inside his opponent's camp. Some psychology at play, directed at Garcia. If he does continue with this, he can actually make Garcia start questioning his win, making Garcia more susceptible to the idea of a rematch, which is a double advantage to Haney, but it could also be all for show. We love the sport. We know that social media and the conversations between the fighters make everything even more interesting, and nothing stirs things up quite like a good old-fashioned cheating accusation. This back and forth between Haney and Garcia might be all about generating interest in a potential rematch. More buzz equals a bigger audience for the next fight, translating to more money for both fighters through pay-per-view sales and sponsorships. Or maybe Haney is just trying to protect his legacy. A loss, especially a dominant one like this, can leave a mark on a fighter's reputation. For Haney, who enjoyed an undefeated record before this fight, this defeat could be a massive blow to his legacy. By alleging cheating, he might be trying to distance himself from the loss and downplay its impact on his overall career. If cheating allegations actually solidify here, this fight might be taken for granted in his career, maintaining his win streak or legacy. But things could even be more complicated. Think of it, when someone accuses you of cheating, the ball suddenly lands in your court. Now you have to prove your innocence. This can be a difficult task, especially with more questions about fairness. Haney might be hoping that the pressure of proving his innocence will distract Garcia from focusing on training for the rematch. But this is not just about Haney, though. Let's remember that the leaked audio suggesting a connection between Haney's father and the referee raises serious concerns about officiating bias.
Handle how he handled the fight.
No excuses. I don't want to talk about the referee or anything like that. We don't go, and go look at the tapes and review the fight. But one thing I learned about Devin is that he's a warrior.
It's a fast.
This adds another layer to the story, suggesting that factors outside of Haney's control might also be influencing his accusations. And if this actually gets enough focus, well, it can get really bad. So, who's right and who's wrong? It's hard to say definitively at this point. A thorough investigation into the officiating and the pre-fight agreement regarding weight could still be dug deeper. But what if the tables were turned and it came to light that Haney's corner was actually responsible for some form of cheating? The consequences for Haney's team would be quite heavy and severe. The most immediate blow would be to their credibility. Boxing is a sport built on trust and respect. If US fans and fellow professionals believe Haney's team resorted to cheating, their reputation would be shattered. Opponents would be wary of stepping into the ring with Haney, and future fighters might be hesitant to seek guidance from a tainted team. Beyond the court of public opinion, legal and professional repercussions could be massive. Depending on the nature of the cheating, governing bodies could come down hard on Haney's team. Suspensions or even revocations of licenses are real possibilities, effectively putting a halt to their ability to train and manage fighters professionally. Fines, lawsuits, and even criminal charges could be on the table, depending on the severity of the offense. The impact wouldn't be limited to the external world. Internally, Haney's team would likely face some conflict. Depending on who was involved in the cheating and how widespread the knowledge was, trust within the team could be fractured beyond repair. Trainers, managers, and other members of Haney's corner might find themselves at odds, potentially leading to team breakups and a complete dismantling of the support system Haney has relied on throughout his career.
Referee handle how he handled the fight.
No excuses. I don't want to talk about the referee or anything like that. We don't go, and go look at the tapes and review the fight. But one thing I learned about Devin is that he's a warrior.
It's a fast.
The future of Haney's corner would depend heavily on how they navigate this potential crisis. Negotiations for a much-anticipated rematch with Garcia would become incredibly difficult, if not impossible. Garcia's team would likely demand stricter regulations and increased scrutiny to ensure a fair fight, casting a long shadow over any potential rematch. The focus for Haney's team would likely shift towards damage control and image repair. Public apologies, complete cooperation with investigations, and a period of rebuilding trust with fans and the boxing community would be crucial. Depending on the severity of the consequences, it could take a long time for Haney to secure another high-profile fight. Rebuilding his career might involve focusing on different opponents and establishing himself as a clean fighter once again. In the worst-case scenario, Haney might have to rebuild his entire team. Finding new trainers and support staff willing to take a chance on him after such a major scandal would be an uphill battle. The road ahead for Haney's corner would undoubtedly be long and arduous, filled with challenges that could potentially threaten their careers and their place within the sport. When it comes to Garcia, he would face some heat too. While Garcia has never been officially caught cheating in the past, the possibility hanging over this win could have a very different impact than it would on a fighter with a tainted record. For Garcia, a man who has cultivated a good guy image in boxing, the consequences of proven unfairness wouldn't just be about lost sponsorships or declining popularity. His entire carefully crafted persona could fall. Fans who loved his flashy style and clean image might feel duped, their cheers replaced by jeers. the pressure to maintain the facade of a fair fighter would be immense, potentially affecting his performances under the constant scrutiny. Unlike a boxer with a history of questionable tactics, Garcia wouldn't have the luxury of simply being the bad guy. His past reputation would make the accusations sting even more. Every future victory, no matter how dominant, could be met with whispers of doubt. The potential rematch with Haney, if it happens, would be a different beast altogether. Gone would be the carefree confidence of the first fight. Garcia would be burdened by the need to prove himself, to erase the stain on his victory. The path forward for Garcia now depends heavily on what the investigation uncovers. If he's clean, the accusations will still leave a mark. But with a clean bill of health, he can focus on rebuilding trust. Dominant, exciting victories that leave no room for doubt would be his best defense. Garcia might also have to consider surrounding himself with a new team, one with an unwavering commitment to fair competition. However, if the accusations are proven true, the road to redemption will be far more challenging. Garcia would need to take full responsibility for his actions, offering sincere apologies and complete cooperation with any investigations. His next fights wouldn't just be about winning, they would be about proving his dedication to fair competition. Well, the fight with Haney may not have been Garcia's greatest test. The true challenge lies ahead, navigating the fallout from the accusations and proving, not just to the fans but to himself, that he can be a champion who wins fair and square. But what's your take on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates.